Hello. Hi, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. Okay, so welcome to our webinar, Digitalize Procurement for Manufacturing. We are covering for the purchase requisition to payment, all the process for today's session. My name is Renger. I'm from the Yeeflow team. Over the past few years, we've seen a growing number of our customers, especially in the manufacturing sector, adopting Yeeflow to build the customer procurement management system. So those systems are used not just for managing PR and PO processing, but also for handling supplier onboarding and also for budget control, invoice mapping, and lots of more function as well. Many of those companies come to us because traditional system, they say, could not meet their specific process needs. They needed something more flexible, faster to adapt, and easier to manage. That's where Yeeflow's no-code platform is really, I think, is really different. So today, we'd like to share what we've learned from working closely with our customers on those user cases, and showing you how you can build your own procurement system without writing any codes, okay, using the no-code platform. All right. So I'm also very excited to be joined by our strategic partner, SCSK. And especially we invited Wei Yang join the webinar today, who has been working with manufacturing companies across the region. Yeah, so Wei Yang, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit more about you and your work in SCSK?
Sure. Thank you so much, everyone. So thanks, Ranger, as well for the introduction. And hello, everyone. My name is Wei Yang here. So thank you for joining us today. So my name is Wei Yang. Actually, I'm the department manager of the enterprise solution in SCSK Asia Pacific. So I'm really happy and very excited to be here. So my roles and responsibility is to actually help the business in their digital transformation journey. I think just before we start, I just want to share a little bit about the short introduction about SCSK, Asia Pacific. So we are an SI company and we provide enterprise solution and services, including enterprise application implementations, like banking solutions, infrastructure services as well. So we work with many different industries, including manufacturing as well. Then I'm very happy and also very excited to be invited to be here. In fact, I think SCSK AP, we actually became the strategic partners of Yeeflow actually in last year. So after we become the partners, we actually promote and also introduce Yeeflow to our customers. We have also successfully implemented Yeeflow to our Singapore customers. And recently, we actually work with Yeeflow teams to expand this kind of like Yeeflow implementations to our Thailand customer as well. So that's how powerful Yeeflow that you can imagine. So Yeeflow is actually a very good tool to streamline our business itself as well. Actually, most important thing is that in SCSK Asia Pacific, we are also using Yeeflow as our internal workflow as well. So with Yeeflow itself, we actually managed to streamline a lot of our business process and make our life a lot more easier than before as well. So in fact, I think we have been actually working in SSK. We actually have serving a lot of different customers. So we have actually seen some of the common challenges, especially in manufacturing. So some of our customers, in fact, quite a few of them are actually still rely on papers or some manual processes. And even when they have a ERP system, things like supplier management, purchasing orders, and also to process the vendors' invoices are often handled outside of the system. So this actually make things actually very difficult to control and also very difficult to manage. And in fact, I think based on our experience here, it's also very difficult to standardize all the processes for our customer in different industry as well, even within the manufacturing areas. So in fact, if let's say you are facing a similar issue, Yeeflow will definitely be a perfect solution for you. And this tool is not going to streamline, but also to improve your business process. And today, I think we will actually show you how Yeeflow can improve your procurement process And I'm confident that we will all learn something in this webinar itself. So thank you for joining us. Renger, back to you.
Okay. Thanks, Wei Yang. That's really insightful, and I totally agree about those feedback for the procurement management part. And also very appreciative for sharing the experience about the challenges and how we can work out for those challenges. Well, hopefully we can find some solution which might help for you to improve your procurement management process and all the system as well. Okay, so procurement in manufacturing is highly complex. Each organization has its own approval processes, and we have. If you also consider about the budget control during the process, is also lots of the budget challenge for different categories with the staffs. And the suppliers we have for each of company, we might have lots of different suppliers, and also for internal compliance requirements as well. So what we were seeing often is that the traditional system are either too, it's a kind of little bit too expensive and time consuming. And that's why, so we have the Yeeflow platform I think that might be the reason that most of the customers choosing the Yeeflow to build this kind of system. And so we firstly start with I prepare a slides to go through. Let's say give everybody brief to understand about the procurement management process, and then we will have a demo after these slides. Let me first share my screen, and okay, let me check here. Okay, this one. All right. Yeah. Just let me know if you can see my screen. Can? Okay. Okay, good. So I have these slides. So basically, I want to share this process. So basically, for procurement, we see the purchase management process. They have include different steps. It's not just a simple workflow, say it's step by step for approval or anything else. It's actually a long time for each of the steps to be completed during our operations. So the first one start from the purchase requisition, and we go to the maybe when you reach the purchase PR, might need to associate with some of the budget and based on the type and the budget for approval. And then after the PR is approved, we might go to have selecting for the vendors, request for generate for RFP to send to the suppliers and the vendors to response. And after the vendor selection, and we will sign the contract with the suppliers, and we will resend the orders to the suppliers as well. So, and once there are different of the service. For example, if it's a goods or some of the products, which need to be delivered, we need to also go to the step 6, which is for receiving goods, and also we will manage maybe the store to track about those those qualities and the quantities. Okay, and also the payment for the accounting and the finance. This is the full process, which is just simplified for each of the steps. All right, so for the purchase requisition, purchase management, this one. So there are two type of the purchase requisition requirements. Firstly, about we call general procurement, which is mostly covered for different industry, different company. If you want to buy some stuff, let's say equipment for IT device or for office operation, even for the service. And another one for manufacturing industry company, they also my record is a product procurement, which is need to consider about the products purchase for their produce about their goods, right? And also for the budget verifications. So this is for PR, and also we have the suppliers. So we manage different of the supplier system with Yeeflow. So there's a couple of different ways. I can share some ideas for onboarding of new suppliers. Basically, what we do, because for Yeeflow we have the public form. So basically, for new supplier, we can use the public form for the registration, and also for the approval internal goes through for the internal approval process. After the supplier goes to be verified, we will actually consider to use a service portal to build a supply portal or vendor portal where they can use to accept for biddings, for for tenders, for some of the invoice submissions, kind of things. And also, if we want, most of the case, we also have the integration with the ERP system for the syncing for the suppliers, for materials, for example, with SAP, with Oracle, because we do have the APIs which can be easily to be integrated. All right. Okay, the third one is for the PO. For the purchase order, there are a couple of things for purchase PO creation, PO approval, and the sending to the suppliers automatically if needed, and for the contract part of the things. And for the receiving, if we have goods need to be shipping, we need to receive and check about the quality, and also for the delivery schedule, track all those things. And the inventory, for example, if we want to manage different stuff, we can create an inventory management, with Yeeflow, which can also have the scanning for a bunch of the stuff, inventory stuff to manage with Yeeflow as well. And also for the invoice and payment, we can integrate actually do the payment process approval inside Yeeflow, and we can also integrate with the finance system for the payment, go through the banking. Okay. And also for the reporting, we can create different of the dashboard with Yeeflow, which can tracking for the spending, tracking for the performance of the suppliers, and also for the procurement, some of the KPIs if you want. Those are just this is just a sample where you can design. If you already have the data, it's really very easy to build the dashboard in Yeeflow. All right. And yes, the last thing that is important is for when we build such a system in Yeeflow, consider to use the set up the role-based permissions to check about the security for the settings and make sure everything is secure. And there are different of other options where you can, when you build a supply system, you can consider. First one is about some of AI features. If you know that for Yeeflow, we also have some of AI features already inside in Yeeflow where you can use. For example, you can use AI assistant to help you for the process. I will demo some of the case as well. And also for e-bidding, if you want, we do actually have a couple customers using Yeeflow, the service portal, to build the e-bidding system where the supplier can submit the bid and submit the proposal for some, the tenders and also others. If you want, you can also use the service portal to do such things. It's really actually very workable. And there are many cases we've seen the customer is already using such scenario as well. All right, so that's brief for the steps. And for very important things, we have the demos, which we can cover some of the the things. Okay, okay, this is one. All right. Okay, so with that, let's say, okay, we will go to we prepare some of the demo. So next, for the next sessions, we can cover some of the demos here. Since the Yeeflow supports a wide range of the functions in the procurement of which can cover different part, but maybe it's not. It can be managed by separate applications inside Yeeflow. So for today's webinar, it's kind of hard to cover everything in just one sessions. So for today, we will actually focus on three key areas that reflect the most common user cases from our manufacturing customers. Those are, let's say, the part one. Actually, I will do a demo for, let's say, show how do we manage the core procurement flow. So let's say from PR to PO to invoice and payment. So this part. And the part two is about the supplier management, and also especially for the new supplier onboarding process, which will including the public form and the flow. Okay. The third part is about some of the specific functions for manufacturing part. I will have my colleague Yi to cover this part of the demo. All right. Okay, so with that said, let's jump into the demo session. Give me a second. All right, so, okay. Can see my screen, right? Okay. All right, so this is the demo site for Yeeflow. There are different of the applications. So for today's session, I actually have this one, procurement management applications, which we'll be using for today's demo. So if you're new to the Yeeflow, if you can actually try we have the different application demos. If you go here, say if you go to start with template. Okay, from here actually you can search on the procurement management. This one. This template where you can install and play. So for today's demo, this application actually is based on this template, and just made some of the updates. Okay, so this is the home page. If you can say, it's actually a dashboard, which is used for listing for the PR and PO things. From here, you can see the total spend and the total PO for today is for the status is in process 1, and total is 7, and paid approved is 7, and paid is 1. So you can actually show more information with the dashboard. And here we have the suppliers for this is the pivot table, and you can have the chart to do the analysis. All right, so this one, and also we support for the futures. For example, if you search for different suppliers, it will update, the data will be updated for this particular supplier. All right, and we can filter based on year. So, but for now, we just have the or the new data. If you have a previous year's data, you can switch for different years, fill to the dashboard. Okay. And next one is about, let's say, for the purchase process. For this one, I actually have three approval form. It actually start from purchase requisition. All right. So from here, you can actually submit. You can select the category. So this is for general procurement. So basically, you can cover for office supply and IT equipment, software or furniture and marketing and advertising. So basically, what you can do is you can managing, let's say this one, you can managing people to have all your product categories from here. Okay. So once you submit, you can first select the purchase category, and you can set expected delivery date, and yeah, it should be. You can just put the reasons and remarks, and from the purchase detail list from here. Basically, what you can do is you can create multiple items. For each one, the purchase items here, you can just choose the items you want. All right. So this is based on the purchase category. So for example, for me right now, I'm selecting IT equipment. So all the items is under this category. If you select this one, it will show the description and quantity and the unit price and things. You can edit some of the part of the information. For example, you can change the quantity to 5, this one to 6, or maybe 8, and we will calculate the total number here. And you can go through the workflow based on those informations. So this is a reason for use, and you can just submit. So there are different of the functions maybe included in the form. For example, for some customers, I say they also select the vendors on the purchase PR form. Okay, and for that case, you can also associate the vendors with the staff, the products, and for as the preferred vendors. We'll submit the flow. So after for this one, we just leave this one, the supplier information to be selected from the PO, not from the PR. So this is one of the case where you can consider. All right, so this one, once it's been submitted, basically the system will be sending the generate an approval form and sending to the task owner for the approval. So this one for me, we have the task to be the manager approval. You can also receive an email from here. All right, from here, let's say, yeah, you can go to the email, and from the email notification, we can say the request information, and also for the items. You can go details by clicking on view more detailed information. But if you are using Outlook, you can also just approve from here, submit directly in the Outlook, which is base functions for every of your workflow if you want. Okay. With that, if I get back here, let me refresh this one. I think this task has been approved. Since we just have for the flow, we just have one task here. Okay, just for manager approval. It's very simple, but if you want, you can design your functions as well. We do actually using AI feature for this workflow, which is for, if you remember that from the email, we have multiple items, which is not supported by default if you are designing your emails. But what we do is we using AI assistant to generate a table, this one, the table here, okay, and put the table into our email content. So this is one that you can use for AI if they are some of the formatting things, and do so by leveraging AI to suggest for you. All right. So basically, this one for the purchase requisition. So what we do is once the purchase requisition is being approved, we can go. Next one is for purchase order. So basically, for the purchase order, we have a function is it's required to be first selected for the PR. Okay, so only the approved PR can be selected here. All right, and if you select the PR, it will giving you all the information for the PR basic info. However, you can also then choose to select the PR items for this PO. So the logic here is because we design the function is you can separate a PR to multiple PO. So with that things, for example, we have the PR request to device, but for the PO, we want to separate the two, maybe two suppliers, or maybe two separate PO. With that, you can, if you want to go with one, you can just select multiple. You can put the order unit price for the, for maybe this one, the final your order price is 1,000, this one is 2,000. All right. And you can select a supplier from the supplier list, all right, from here, blue pick, and you can choose the contract period. Yeah, you know that with Yeeflow, you can change every of the fields if you want. So this is maybe the ones for maybe 30% for payment term, and this one for delivery, we have 70% for the payment. Then you can have the total contract payment and with the payment terms. If you want, if you have already signed the contract, you can also upload the contract associated with the, okay. So after this, you can just submit. Okay, so this is the date. Okay, so another thing is you can set because the unit price for the order is less than the expected unit price. However, if we say this one is higher, we can highlight with red color for the text for the approval to, pay attention on this one. All right. Okay. So after the purchase order is being submitted, we also have the flow to go to the next one for PO approval, and yeah, just approval or rejected. All right. So this one, we also have the automatically generated PO number here. However, if you, for some case, they will maybe generate from the ERP system or others, you can do so and manually fill in the form in the next approval process. Right. So this is this one, and also we refresh this one since it's being just to have one step, so it's being approved, and then we can say we have the PO file. So this one is actually just generated with the Yeeflow generated document workflow action. All right. So it's automatically getting the fields. Let's say the supplier name, the PO number, and everything auto fill into we call the PO template, the Word documents. You can create for your own. All right, we also list all the items and the pricing things. All right. Yeah. So this is the flow. And also we have another thing is the PO file will also be sending to all the suppliers with an email as an attachment. All right. Okay.
Great, thank you so much, Renger. I think just
Yeah.
I think just maybe just add-ons to to all the audience here, maybe for the audience who are new to Yeeflow, right? I think we just want to ensure here that Yeeflow is very flexible. I think what you see here is the template itself. So meaning said that whatever data fields, it can be adjusted or to be customized based on your business process itself, even the workflow as well. Right now you see only one approver. So in case your company need multi-layers approvals, all this can be done within the workflow itself. I think that is the add-ons that I would like to do.
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Yeah,
all
no
right.
problem. But maybe Ranger, just for the audience values, right? Maybe let me ask a few questions coming from the audience, right? Maybe this might help them to understand a little bit better from the Yeeflow
Yeah,
coaching. I think
sure.
just now you actually do a demos about say after the approvals, maybe the PO will be generated, right? But maybe in most of the cases, I think as an organization, before we send to the supplier, we might need to sign on the PO level itself. So I mean, can Yeeflow integrate with e-signature or digital signature so that we make the process more complete? Is there such a function
sure.
within the Yeeflow itself?
Yeah, sure, no problem. So basically, just as Wei Yang said, so the flow and the form in the eFlow is actually just with a drag and drop control to DPI. So we do have the form designer and where you can design forms. We also have the flow designer where you can design your workflow. So basically, from this logic, this one for PO approval, it will go to generate documents and sending the PO for updating for the information, sending the email also. So basically, two things. If you want to add in more multiple approval per level, you can just drag to and another step, and you can just connect for multiple step approval. Secondly, if you want for the documents, we do have the e-sign tools integrated. So basically, we can using the most popular e-sign tools, which including Adobe Sign, DocuSign, and the Pandoc. So it depends on which one you would like. So basically, once it's been generated for the PO, if you for the internal approval for with the physical sign for the documents with e-sign, you can do so by just drag this one to connect any of the e-sign tools. Maybe Adobe Sign, maybe DocuSign. So anyone can do. Once being submit, once the document being signed, then you do next step. Let's say sending the signed document to the suppliers for the as an attachment. So you can also do so. All right. Okay. So all can be customizable. Okay.
Yeah, that's very great. So I think this is also one of the reasons I like Yeeflow so much. I think it's very easy. I think even for people who don't have any technical backgrounds, they can easily design the Yeeflow for your own usage as well. Yeah, I think
sometimes if even it's easier for communication with the end user. If they say I have this idea, can I do this? Can I do that? So it's a very easy to quick to the implement and test the result. All right.
Exactly.
Okay, and also we have another function after the document is generated. We also have, let's say this one. We actually have a document library. Give me a second. We have a document library called PO document. So this one. So remember that we just had the blue peak, the supplier being selected for the PO. So once the PO document be generated, it also can save the generated document PO to a folder because Yeeflow will have the library, so you can using this one to manage your structured data. So for the logic here is once the PO is be generated, we will saving the PO document to this PO document library with the name of the supplier. So if you have a new supplier which haven't received the PO, we will create a new folder with the vendor's name, and then we will put the PO number inside in this folder. So if you, for example, if you have multiple PO racing to one supplier, you will see all the PO documents in this under this folder. This will be easier for you to track and manage the document if needed. All right. Okay, a very quick for the next step. So if you go have the PR and PO, and once maybe there are some steps, let's say deliver the shipping goods and receiving and other things. Okay, so once the service be completed, we may need to have the payment. Maybe it's some of them maybe need to be paid advance. All right. So we have the payment request. From here, we also have, let's say, first is select the supplier if we want to do a payment request for the internal approval needs. Okay, if we select the supplier, we will list all the payment items based on the payment terms. So if you have a one PO but with a supplier, but it have three payment terms with maybe let's say this one is advance for 50%, 30%, and deliver for 70%. So maybe currently you need to pay this one. So you just select this one for the payment. However, if you want, you can also, because this one is also need to be paid. This is from another PO, but if you want to pay those amounts in one payment, you can also do so. So you can just select two. All right. You can also, we have the link to the PR and the PO where you can also track all the approvals. And then you can have the transfer from the banking or from the matter and submit for the process. So this one can also be integrated. Once it's been approved, you can integrate with your finance system for directly pay from the banking. All right. So this is another step. So we have a three scenario for PR to PO to payment request. This is the demo for the first session, and also all the data will affect to the dashboard where you can track. All right. Okay.
Yeah, thank you so much, Renger. I think just one thing to add on is that I think based on experience, I think a lot of people are trying to do this kind of like procurement process within the ERP system itself. But to be honest, doing within the ERP system, I think maybe the cost itself will be very, very high. So I think that's where the Yeeflow is coming into the advantage itself. So you can customize for your own needs. At the same time, you can design the way that you want your process to go through. So that's how simple the Yeeflow, and there's an API function within Yeeflow itself. You are able to integrate with your ERP seamlessly as well. So I think that is also one of the benefits that I would like to highlight over here.
Okay, great. Yeah, so this is the session one. Thanks, Wei Yang. And we actually open for the Q&A session. So if you have any questions, you can just put your questions inside, and we will do the answer for those questions later after the demo. All right, but you can put your questions for now. Okay, so yeah, next one is regarding for, if you remember that for the PR or PO is actually related to the vendors. Okay, so for example, we have the supplier here. So basically what we do is we have a supplier list. Let's say this one. Okay, so those are, we call the verified suppliers. All right, so this might be managed from the ERP system, or if you do want to also manage it from the Yeeflow. You can have capabilities. For example, if you want to do for the new supplier selection or the new supplier approval, that'd be better to using Yeeflow for the approval workflow. And that once it's been approved, you can save in the approved supplier to your ERP system. All right, for use. That will keep your ERP system, the data in your ERP system very formally and also very clear. All right. Okay, so basically, if for example, if we raising a future purchase order or the picking up for new stuffs, we say this might be needed to work with a new supplier. So for that case, you can submit a new supplier selection form. Okay, for the approval. There are a couple ways for you can do. Based on my understanding is there are some customers say they do not need to have the supplier to be involved. They say maybe I have a form. We have some person to fill in all the informations and just for internal approval. Okay, so this is one. It's actually very simple. So what you can do is you just submit a form for similar like the PO or PR things. And then once being approved, you just add into the list. Another one is we can also think, let's say maybe I want to have the suppliers to fill in some of the information by themselves. Okay, we do have the verify and those things. So we can also do so with the Yeeflow. So we have this, let me show you this one. We have the supplier portal, which is part of the procurement. So this one, we have the supplier onboarding function. Okay, so we have the homepage for suppliers. From here, you can see all the suppliers based on the country. You can have some of the documents as the policy or compliance documents. We also have the supplier list, and we also have the onboarding request part. Where say you can say there are some of the suppliers is all still waiting for maybe request for the information requesting or verifications from different steps. All right. If you have maybe a new suppliers, for example, if you say, I'm going to create a new supplier. Okay, so we have a new supplier. You can have an option called require supplier updates. So if you say yes, which means we will sending the form to the supplier to fulfill the rest of the information and then get back to us for review. Okay, for that case, let's say if you select yes, okay, this one is please fill in the information of your company as supplier. Okay, and you can just for this one, you can put as much information you know. Okay, for internal user, for example, this one is SVCC in for tech. Okay, for this company, and I know the person maybe is, I don't know, maybe John Swift. Okay, and we have, you can also put the title if you know, but maybe some case I just know the name, I just know the content information, and I know the content email. So you can just put the email of the contents. I just put myself for the demo, to easier to show the demo. But you can put any of the content email which the supplier might as a key content to responsible for taking the process. Okay, you put this email here. Okay, we just have 3 fields. Okay, but for the rest, I want to have my supplier to fill in the rest of the information. So what you can do is you put those are required fields, then you can just make sure this one is selected. Okay, require supplier update. Then you can just click OK. All right. So this we will have new records from here. And what's happened for the next part will be the request will be submitted to, we will have an email sent to the content of the supplier. So let me check my email here. Okay, so the supplier will receiving an email like this. Okay, so we'll say, hey, John, kindly revise the information based on the comments below for the supplier registration form. Okay, this is the comments that I put inside in the form. Okay, so the supplier then will be able to receiving click this link inside the email. Let me check. Okay, this is the form. This is actually a public form. Okay, this is a public form created by Yeeflow. Okay, so which means they do not need to require for any login from the suppliers. All right. So what you can do, they just click the link in the email, and we will having the information we put here. Okay, so they can actually fill in others. Let's say maybe this one, and we have the code here. This one is APEC, and we put others. Let's say the service. So this one can be, okay, we are serving for professional service, which is maybe IT development, something like that. Okay, you can also have your brochure from here, maybe, or company production things. Okay, you can add any of the required information you needed. Yeah, doesn't matter, this one. Okay, you can put any of file here. And there are lots of others if you want. They will complete everything. And once done, it can submit the applications. Okay, or once it's ready to submit it, it will say this one has been submitted clearly. So next time, if you go back to click this link again, you will show the same information. It cannot be submitted for twice. Okay, so once been submitted, it will be actually updated to, let me refresh here. This one, this will be, let me check. Yeah, this one. Yeah, you can say those are information updated status, the code, and the company introduction, the files has been updated. And what they can do is they will trigger flow for internal review. And if there are anything missing or incorrect, you can just add comments and send back to the supplier again. They will receive another email and checking about the status. But after it's being completed, we will have internal approval, and once it's being approved, it will be a verified supplier, which can be selected as a supplier, approve the suppliers from the list to raising the PO. All right. So this is another one. So it's a little bit, some of the information, say for the public form, as you know that for public form, you can not to getting the data from the internal data database. But the way we do it, we have the customer code part. It's not too complex. It's just a little bit, logic inside, which can retrieve the data from the internal and showing the public form. So this one, if you are interested, maybe we can have another session to do the in details. It's kind of a too technical part for this session for now. All right. Okay. So those are two demos. Just hopefully give you some of the ideas, say about how we can use Yeeflow to achieve the PRPO management, build supplier onboarding functions, and to have the interaction between inside and outside. All right. Okay, so we are a little bit run out of the time for this session. So next one. Okay, so next one, we'd like to introduce Yi, our colleague Yi, to give you a bit about the introduction about the manufacturing part. You might just have maybe 5 or 6 minutes because we want to have a 5 at least. Yeah.
Okay.
Sorry about the delay. Okay.
It's okay. I'll be quickly. Okay. Can everybody see my screen? Okay, good. I'll go through. Hello, everyone, and I'm E. And today I'll be demonstrate about to support procurement, especially for the production scenario. And okay, I'll be quickly. So let's start with the purchase request form. And compare with the traditional like non-production purchase request, the main difference between that is the production details and the material selection. And for manufacturer purchase request, we'll need to select the material from the master data or the BOM. based on bill map. So when I click that lookup, and you can see this list, which is contained all the raw material that we will need during the production. So we can select one, and you can see all the related information will be automatically logged to the sublist. And also we can see here have the subtotal and the total amount. I can add one more. We can see the result here. When I change the quantities, the amount will be changed together. And okay, I'll move to the next about the data list part. Here, about the manufacturer data management in Yeeflow, we will have we'll have a data list component to manage that. And in this demo, I have 4 data list, which is the mass data that contain the finished good and the raw material, and also the bill and BOM, which is the different which material are required for product, the specific product. And next is MRP, which is material request planning. This is the generator requirement for material based on the production plan. And the next is the stock, which contain those kind of information which have the current stock, reserved stock, available stock, and also the safe stock. And we can go to we have found the scenario here is that when you create MRP here, you can select the finished good, which is from the master data. We have a field named type. They can be separate the raw material and finished goods by select that type. And when you select that, the required raw material will be automatically logged in. This data is from the BOM. And when I input the required data, like 1000 maybe, and also the date, we can see here the requirement total will be calculated automatically. And when I click the stock data list will be be reserved those stock those like item I just create. Create, and after that it will generate what's it here? It will automatically reserve the stock and calculate the available stock. And based on the safety stock, it will automatically generate a warning email when it's below the safety stock. And here we can see, just wait a moment, sorry. And here, okay, let me just go quickly with the demo email here. Like when some item is below the safety stock, the system will automatically generate an email to notify the user to about the stock is low. And you can click that link here, which will show us which item is below the safety stock. The Yeeflow allow user to create a different view, the data list view based on the specific settings. And in this one, I'm setting if the safety stock is below if the reserved stock is below the safety stock, the system will automatically generate the notification. Okay.
Okay, great. Thanks, Yi. Okay, so I'm sorry to leave you just maybe less time. So there are lots of logic Yi prepared for this session, but maybe we can have another session to share those ideas. So basically, there are some of the other part of the function we did not cover for today for receiving goods for other part of the information. But I'd like to share, we are working for some of the new features. One of them will be released recently, maybe next month, is a barcode. So I think that'd be very important also for the manufacturing part. So if you have receiving the goods, you have the barcode, you can check about status by scanning. So we can support for using the Yeeflow mobile app to scan for barcode and getting the information, or you can also generate the barcodes to print out for some other stuff. So this will be ready for the next month, and we will have other AI features also will be published soon. All right. Okay. All right. Yeah, so let's jump to have maybe just 5 minutes, but we can answer some of the questions you are interested. After that, if you still have any questions, just contact us by typing the email or by any the channels, right? Okay, so yeah, I'm checking about the questions here. So firstly, for Reader, and I think. Okay, your question is, does Yeeflow support mobile approval for manager on the go? Yes, absolutely. So there are a couple of things. I just because I do not have the demo for the mobile device for today, but it's going to have a different part of the mobile approval. Firstly, you can using Yeeflow mobile app. You can also using web browser, or you can using Outlook. You can say if you are receiving email, manager can also take action from the emails. And also, if you are using Teams, you can also approve or check any of the functions from Teams mobile app. So different part of this. The clear answer is yes. All right. All right. So once the goods received and does not meet the PO, how does the system handle the? Okay. All right. Let me say. So if the goods received, quality does not match. Okay. So basically, there are different customers choosing for different way. So basically, as I know, one of the customers I know that they have the receiving goods form where they can record the information, and if the quality does not meet for the PO, they will actually return the goods and check about the mark, and maybe to return and get back or deliver again. It's based on the decision. However, as I mentioned, that you can also including this information associated with the supplier, so that the KPI and also the you can design the KPI to check about some of the performance issues, where you can verify by review the performance of the suppliers, those things. All right. Okay. Great. Procurement to pay process. How does Yeeflow ensure consistent between PRPO amounts and the invoice numbers? Yeah, I think the demo for today is mostly focused on this one. So PR associated with PO, a PO must be created with the associated with PR, right? The invoice will having the PO number also. So one of the functions I did not mention is if you are using Yeeflow, you can also remember that we do have the document intelligence function. So basically, you can using Yeeflow to automatically recognize the invoice from the supplier and checking about the PO number if it's a match with the associated PO. So those kind of things you can also do. Okay. All right. So is Yeeflow only related to procurement, or is it also involving in sales? Yeeflow is actually a no-code platform, so it can have it can be used for different of the functions, for procurement, for IT, for marketing, for sales, and for HR, for finance. So different you can use the benefit for Yeeflow is actually you can build each of the function for different departments or different scenario. And also all those applications are running on Yeeflow platform, which means the data is associated. So the quick answer is yes, you can definitely do having the sales to be involved. So we have some customers, they have finance involved, and they also can, let's say, you can have a CRM system, and also the CRM will associate the procurement to, let's say, raising the contract and also the PR for receiving the recurring projects and so on. Okay. All right. Okay, great. The solution that you show is coming included with the procurement purchase of Yeeflow or a separate link additional development cost. Okay, so basically, the function I just show here is, the function is just build up for this webinar. This creates some of the changes. It's based on the procurement management application template inside in Yeeflow with no additional charge. All right. For today's functions included in this webinar, I might be able to, let me check. Maybe we can share this as another template, which you can use with no additional cost. But if you want to make any change, because I cannot cover every function in the template, but if you want to make change, you can do so by yourself, or if you need help, you can just contact with us or with SCSK, our partners, to support for you. All right. Okay. All right. So I think that's for today's session. Okay. Okay, great. I think that's all. It's actually over 1 hour. Okay, so thanks again for joining us. Especially thanks for Wei Yang to share your experience and join the webinar together. I hope that we can have more webinars in the coming days. And also, let's say if you have any requirements needed, you can contact Yeeflow team and also can contact with SCSK team. They also have very experienced Yeeflow experts support for you. Okay, great. Yeah, thanks again for spending time with us. And we wish to see you again soon in our future events. All right. All right. Can we can we download the video today? Yes, we will share the video later on. We are already recorded, but maybe not today. Maybe we can you can see the videos available for maybe tomorrow same time. We will get it as soon as we can. All right. Okay. Great. Yeah. Thanks a lot. Thanks everybody.
Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Thank you.
Renger and
Have a good
Lee.
day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.